Well, to make India's vaccination drive swift and smooth, the centre opened the API of the CoWIN platform for third-party applications, hoping it would help people with useful data. However, it could also be misused by the programmers. Let's take a look.
A scramble for vials running low.
हमारा 9 से 11 का स्लॉट है, हम यहाँ पे पौने 9 बजे पहुँच गए, बट 9 बजे अभी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है। क्या फायदा रहा? आने का फायदा क्या है? स्लॉटमेंट का फायदा क्या है? और यहाँ पे लोग जो है 12 से 1 बजे वाले भी लगे हुए हैं।
Gates have not opened. There is no point standing over here. Just see the social distancing. What are we supposed to do? Go back home?
आपका टाइमिंग क्या है?
I mean, this is kind of ridiculous now.
This is the official platform for booking a vaccine slot. But in order to make CoWIN more useful, the government unblocked a key software for third-party developers to access data. The exposed code is called the Application Programming Interface, or the API. Simply put, it's like a messenger that sends your request to a service provider and brings back the response. For instance, when you look for a flight on a travel site, you are using APIs to access airline databases for information you want in real time.
The Application Programming Interface, or the API, is a protocol that allows two applications to communicate. APIs are often made public so that third-party developers could come up with solutions that enhance the experience of the main application. But in the case of CoWIN, it is now turning out to be a double-edged sword.
In the cases of CoWIN, developers are using the API to help people get automated notifications on availability of vaccination slots. With this technology, they don't have to manually log in to look for vacancies, often multiple times a day, in the overcrowded online space. This digital platform, LabNol, has created one such solution.
What we have done is, using these public APIs, we've built up a spreadsheet where anybody can put in their PIN code and they can put in their email address. And what the spreadsheet does is it keeps connecting to this API, say every 1 hour, every 2 hours, depending on the date that the user has set. And it checks the availability of vaccines. In case the vaccines are available for booking, say tomorrow or day after tomorrow or in future date, that spreadsheet will send an email alert to the users.
But some are worried programmers may use the technology to completely automate the registration process. And if that happens, a large non-tech savvy population may miss out on the vaccination bookings, which the tech-savvy folks might secure through APIs.
Now, how some people may have misused this, they may have created something called RPA, robotic process automation, a normal script running. So every time they figure out that there is a slot availability, what that script will do is it will automatically open the CoWIN platform, it will register the user, it will wait for an SMS OTP which will come to that registered mobile phone number, and then subsequently read it from the mobile phone, assuming there's an application on the mobile phone, and populate it. This is not, this is basically a bot automating human behavior.
The government, however, downplays the risk of mass automation. Officials say programmers may have used the APIs to receive information faster, but rule out their unlawful use for mass registrations. According to the government, the technology limits API calls and sets apart manual and automated requests by 30 minutes to ensure level playing.
The first change where they are limiting the number of API calls per IP address, that's a very welcome change, because obviously somebody would not be able to build a mass solution, rent a server and then run these mass automations, because obviously that would not be possible. Second is by caching the data and by delaying the serving of data by 30 minutes, obviously what you are getting, what alerts you are getting may not be real time.
But in a country with a vast digital divide, concerns are being raised over vaccine equity during a deadly pandemic.
So there is definitely an ethical concern, Ankit, because you are right. Somebody who is writing a script to automate the entire behavior, he definitely has an edge on somebody who is trying to do the entire process manually.
Experts suggest both the government and the private sector should collaborate on a bigger scale to make the technology accessible to the masses.
This virus affects everyone, and whatever we are building definitely should be able to reach the masses. But at the same time, one of the recent developments, very positive development, is Paytm, which is a very, very big company. They have also added this feature in their app itself, which I'm sure is used by several crores of people. So this is when such big companies take the initiative to incorporate such functionality in their app itself, it will definitely reach the masses.
Bridging the technology divide is going to be a key element in the fight against COVID. With Sneha Murdani in New Delhi, this is Ankit Kumar for India Today.
Well, the data that has been given out by the Government of India shows that indeed more COVID patients are requiring critical care this time as compared to the first wave of the pandemic. But the second wave has not really increased the number of deaths per se, that the severity of the infection really has not increased. I explain in this report. There is a steep spike in cases and a steeper spike in demand for critical care in India. The government says 500,000 people are in critical care in India right now, getting treatment in ICUs and hospitals across the country. Close to 50,000 COVID patients in India are currently in intensive care units. More than 14,500 are on ventilator support. More than 137,000 patients are currently on oxygen support. The government says 1.34% of the active caseload is in ICU. 0.39% of them are on ventilators. 3.7% of them are on oxygen support. Compare this with the first wave of the pandemic that peaked in September, where about 23,000 patients were in ICUs. 4,000 of them were on ventilators. 40,000 required oxygen support. The surge in demand has impacted critical care.
The massive second wave of COVID has created a huge shortfall in critical care beds and ventilators. As a result, there's also a dearth of critical care specialists and ICU nurses due to both the increased numbers and because many of them have mild COVID due to continuous exposure.
The shortage of oxygen cylinders, hospital beds and ICUs has led to an increase in deaths, and not because the virus has caused severe disease during the second wave.
Because of this huge surge in cases, definitely one has to admit that there is some degree of decrease in the quality of care that is being provided because of the number of patients rushing into the emergency and doctors having a tough time. And that may also be affecting morbidity and mortality.
Doctors also explain when in hospital, medications have little role to play and panic around them is unnecessary.
There's a huge number of patients who come and demand to be treated with remdesivir, with things like tocilizumab, itolizumab, and the new drugs bevacizumab and so many others. Depending upon the involvement of other organs other than the lungs, depending upon your symptoms, and then depending upon your severity of the disease, please let the physician decide the course of action.
More than 2.18 crore people have been found infected with the virus in India up until now. The government's own data suggests that more than 2% of all the people infected so far have been admitted to an ICU. More than 92% of infected people have recovered from this infection without requiring any critical care support. In New Delhi, Sneha Murdani for India Today. Well, not just cities, even villages are reeling under the deadly second wave of COVID-19. India Today brings you this ground report from 2 villages in UP where villagers are in a dire situation and are left to fend for themselves.
Overburdened hospitals are struggling to cope in cities due to a lack of resources and a huge influx of patients. But it's not just cities. Rural areas are also struggling. There may be lesser patients, but basic healthcare isn't available. This is Jahangirabad, a small village in Uttar Pradesh's Kanpur, and the plight of the villagers here will shock you. Locals tell us that in the last 20 days, about 25 to 30 people have died. All of them showed COVID symptoms and had breathing trouble, but received no help.
कई लोग हमारे यहाँ से ख़त्म हो चुके हैं और यहाँ पर कोई सुविधा नहीं मिल पा रही है। ऑक्सीजन वगैरह नहीं मिल पाता है। जाते हैं हम लोग अस्पताल में तो दवा इलाज हमारा कायदे से नहीं होता है।
अगर यहाँ पर इतनी सुविधा होती तो ये मौतें इतनी ना होती। एक लोग को ले जाओ और इसके बाद लौट के ना आओ, 4 आदमी फिर ख़त्म हो गए। अगर किसी अस्पताल ले जाओ तो वहाँ कहीं कोरोना की जाँच कराओ, कहीं ये कराओ, कोई भर्ती नहीं करता। ये हाल है यहाँ का।
प्रशासन के द्वारा कोई भी यहाँ सहायता नहीं मिल पाती है, जबकि ये नेशनल हाईवे 86 है। इसी रास्ते से हमारे यहाँ तहसील मुख्यालय के तमाम अधिकारी निकलते हैं, लेकिन कोई भी ध्यान नहीं देता। आज तक हमारे गांव में सैनिटाइजर नहीं हुआ है, जबकि विधायक जी हर गांव में जाते हैं और यहाँ तक नहीं आते हैं विधायक जी कि यहाँ भी सैनिटाइजेशन कराया जा सके।
अभी एक आदमी सुभाष पांडे मर गया, बुखार आया, इंजेक्शन लगवाया, मर गया 2 रोज बाद बुखार में। तो यहाँ इंजेक्शन नहीं लगवा रहे हैं डर की वजह से। डर लग रहा है कि बुखार ना आ जाए, मर ना जाए, फूड नहीं कर रहा है।
Some of them made it to hospitals. Even they couldn't be saved due to the oxygen crisis.
ये हमारे चाचा जी थे, शीतला साई खरे इनका नाम था। बेसिकली इनको प्रॉब्लम अस्थमा की पहले से रही है, सांस लेने में दिक्कत, लेकिन अभी इस बीच में सांस की प्रॉब्लम हुई। ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर कानपुर में कहीं पर भी नहीं अरेंज हुआ। घाटमपुर से इनका अरेंजमेंट किया गया, घाटमपुर से इनको सिलेंडर दिलाया गया। फिर कानपुर ले गए तो वहाँ पर डॉक्टर टहलाते रहे कि आप यहाँ ले जाइए, वहाँ ले जाइए। फिर लौट के घर पे आए। घर पे लाने के बाद ये शाम को सही रहे, ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर जब हटाया गया है, और मॉर्निंग में वही 5:40 पे ही खत्म हो गया।
There are 0 healthcare facilities here. Even the primary healthcare center set up to help this village with 6,000 odd people is shut down.
ये पूरा स्वास्थ्य केंद्र इस वक्त खंडहर बन चुका है और यहाँ पर किसी भी तरीके से कोई भी व्यवस्था नहीं दी जाती है। यहाँ स्वास्थ्य केंद्र पर ताला लगा हुआ है और यहाँ लिखा हुआ है स्वास्थ्य केंद्र जहांगीराबाद। सीधे तौर पर यह बताता है कि स्वास्थ्य केंद्र गांव के अंदर मौजूद है, लेकिन इस गांव में पिछले 20 से 25 दिनों के अंदर जिस तरीके से यहाँ मौतें हुई हैं, करीब 25 से 30 लोगों की मौत हुई है, वैसे में यहाँ का हाल देखिए। और ये हाल इतना खतरनाक है कि यहाँ सिर्फ और सिर्फ गंदगी भरी हुई है। पूरा स्वास्थ्य केंद्र इस वक्त खंडहर में तब्दील है। गांव में इस तरीके की स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं जो होनी चाहिए वो किसी भी तरीके की नहीं है।
This isn't the only village left orphaned amid a pandemic. We visit a nearby village called Paras, and it's the same tale of negligence and apathy. Here, locals say about 33 people have lost their lives after suffering from coronavirus symptoms. Till date, no official has visited their village.
और यहाँ कोई सामुदायिक व्यवस्थाएं नहीं है। अगर हम लोग घाटमपुर या CSC वहाँ फ़ोन करें तब डॉक्टर की टीम आएगी जांच करने, वो भी 1-2 घंटे करेगी, उसका निकल लेगी। बोलते हैं कि हमें दूसरे गांव जाना है, बस इतना ही होता है। हम लोग 2-3 दिन और कॉल करते हैं, तब बोलेंगे 3 दिन बाद टाइम देंगे कि हम इस दिन आएंगे।
हमारे गाँव में मृत्यु हो रही हैं, ये कब तक ईश्वर ऐसा करेगा? इसके आगे बोलने की हमारी क्षमता नहीं है। शासन प्रशासन स्वयं सब देख रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, सब बातचीत कर रहे हैं, ये करेंगे वो करेंगे। आज तक कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पर। कोई भी यहाँ पर आज तक एक दिन आए इधर उधर वो छिड़कते फिरते रहे, न दवाइयाँ मिली न कुछ मिला। जब भी कोई जाता है आए 2-4 लोगों को देखा, देख कर ही चले गए, भग गए यहाँ से। टेस्टिंग के लिए कभी आए ना आए, यहाँ तो आदमी डरता भी है।
Many of these villagers have coronavirus symptoms themselves, but have no way of being diagnosed of the virus. Why? Because there isn't a single testing facility available in these areas. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, as COVID spreads its spikes in rural parts of India, just 100 kilometers away from Mumbai, tribal areas of Palghar face a double whammy. On one hand, there is lack of awareness campaign, and on the other hand, lack of COVID measures have compounded the crisis. Pankaj Upadhyay with this ground report.
Just over 100 kilometers away from Mumbai lies this quaint town of Palghar. But all is not well here. The sole government COVID facility in the area is maxed out. This is 58-year-old Kusum. Due to unavailability of beds, hospitals had to give her oxygen on the bench.
तो आर्टिकल से वही देख रहे हो, लेकिन अभी जो मिलेगा वो बोले कि 10-15 मिनट में आपको बेड मिल जाएगा। घबराहट तो होगी ना सर, आपके माँ है तो घबराहट तो होगी ना। ऑक्सीजन देता ऑक्सीजन ते देता है बेड बोलते हैं ऑक्सीजन बेड म्हणजे तेच ऑक्सीजन हाँ ते उपलब्ध करता नाही तसा नाही तुम्हाला ऑक्सीजन का घेऊन त्या रस्त्यावर बसायचं आहे का?
After a lot of pleading, Kusum's family managed to get an oxygen bed.
क्या बोला मैडम?
If I try and go inside, I will see that there are many relatives of the patients who are waiting under the tree, sitting in a cot, waiting for their turn. But what is also frightening is the fact that these people have not been tested. They have come to the hospital with a COVID patient. What if they too are COVID positive? Is there a contact tracing that is being done? As far as the hospital administration here is concerned, they are not saying much on this very issue.
This is the ground reality of health infrastructure in the tribal areas in Palghar.
पालघर जिले की शासकीय प्रशासकीय यंत्रणा है ये पूरी कोलैप्स हो चुकी है। प्राइवेट अस्पताल में इस पालघर जिले का आदिवासी समाज जा सकता है क्या? उनके पास इतना 1.5 लाख 2 लाख 5 लाख भरने के लिए पैसा है क्या? मेरा खुद का अनुभव है, मुझे एक एम्बुलेंस से ऑक्सीजन का बाटला निकाल के उस पेशेंट को घर पे ऑक्सीजन लगाना पड़ा, तो 4 घंटे बाद उसको अस्पताल में लिया। ये करने के लिए 7 दिन लगे।
Many people in the rural areas are dying and still they are not getting any help. Now, India Today will be visiting some of the rural areas in Palghar, and we will also be visiting some of the tribal families to give you an understanding of what exactly is the ground situation and why does people like Santosh say that they are not in any position to help these tribal people because the administration, as they allege, has turned a complete blind eye towards their needs and demands.
Like Kusum, many are finding it hard to get beds. Chaya managed to get a bed for her cousin only after 5 days.
त्याला इथे आणलेला बाटला लावला, पण आम्हाला कोणाची मदत नाही भेटली.
प्रशासनाकडून तुम्हाला मदत
नाही भेटली.
Everywhere you turn, it's the same dismal scenario.
अपने घर में एक आध मरीज निकला तो अपन क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं, ऐसा मैं अकेला सोच रहा था कि मैं क्या करूं। अभी अकेला हूं मैं, औरत और मैं सोच रहे थे, हम दोनों जन रात में सोते नहीं थे और खाना भी नहीं जाता था। बहुत खराब कंडीशन हमारा उस टाइम था।
The youth blame the politicians for the sorry state of affairs.
हमारे गांव में एक भी बार किसी ने हमारे को बताया नहीं, मास्क पहनो, सैनिटाइजर का उपयोग करो, किसी ने अभी तक बताया नहीं।
ये इधर कोविड पॉजिटिव का जो पेशेंट है ना, तो ग्राम पंचायत से लोग भी नहीं आए कि इधर जाके फवारनी करे औषध विषध का, ऐसा कुछ हुआ भी नहीं।
What's worse is the fact that vaccine awareness in the area is negligible.
मनु जी, आपने वैक्सीन लिया?
नहीं।
अभी आपको लगता है वैक्सीन लेना जरूरी है आपको?
ऐसा तो नहीं लगता है हमको जरूरी है लेने का।
हम लोग इसे काम करते हैं, लेकिन वजन उठाते, धूप में काम करते हैं। हाँ, हम लोग
वैक्सीन नहीं चाहिए आपको?
जब जरूरत पड़ेगी जब ही लेंगे हम लोग, ऐसे नहीं लेंगे।
In a nearby village, there is even more vaccine hesitancy.
मेरे पड़ोस के आदमी को बताया कि तुम डोज लो, लेकिन वो डोज लेने से डरते। मैंने उसको बोला मैंने दो डोज लिया, मेरे को कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बीपी का प्रॉब्लम था तभी मैंने 2 डोज लिया, तभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मेरे पास।
ट्राइबल एरियाज में बहुत सारे मिसकंसेप्शंस है, रूमर्स है। हमने सब फैमिलीज का सर्वे किया, उसमें फीवर क्लिनिक्स एक्टिवेट किए, फिर भी आज भी सुपरस्टिशंस है।
With Pankaj Upadhyay in Palghar, Bureau Report, India Today.
After COVID-19, another rare infection is spreading its roots in India. At least 40 cases of black fungus have been reported from Surat and Gujarat. Health experts are saying that COVID patients with weak immunity are more prone to this deadly infection. Let's find out what exactly is black fungus and how this is being reported in Delhi now as well. Who exactly is more vulnerable? It is called the black fungus and this infection is back. Delhi's Sir Gangaram Hospital, which has seen cases of mucormycosis earlier, is also reporting a surge in this fungal infection once again. Last year, this deadly infection caused a high mortality with many patients suffering from loss of eyesight, removal of the nose and jawbone. This infection is seen in patients who have recovered from COVID-19.
Major signs and symptoms of this mucormycosis kind of a fungal infection is the swelling around the face, mainly in the paranasal region. Along with that, orbital swelling, eye swelling, discharge from the nose. These kind of features we are seeing in the post-COVID patients.
Many COVID patients have diabetes as comorbidity, and this could be one of the reasons for this rise in black fungus infection once again. COVID patients with weak immunity are more prone to this deadly infection. Doctors say the infection is worse this time around.
पिछले साल हम लोगों ने कोविड की महामारी के बाद बहुत सारे केसेस ब्लैक फंगस या म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस के देखे थे। इस साल इस बीमारी का और बुरे तरीके से हम लोगों पर आना बहुत एक संभावना है और इसका इलाज एम्फोट्रिसिन यानी कि एंटी फंगल दवाई से अस्पताल में और बाद में कुछ सर्जरीज से भी जरूरी है, अदरवाइज ये जानलेवा बीमारी है।
At least 40 cases of black fungus have been reported from Surat and Gujarat among those who have recovered from COVID-19. Of the 40, 8 have lost their eyesight. The number of such cases has increased as Gujarat sees an exponential rise in coronavirus infections. The infection triggered by COVID-19 is treatable, but if left untreated or if the treatment is delayed, the condition can lead to the loss of vision and in some cases, increased mortality. The general symptoms include one-sided facial swelling, headache, nasal or sinus congestion, black lesions on nasal bridge or upper inside of mouth that quickly become more severe. Symptoms of pulmonary mucormycosis includes fever, cough, chest pain and shortness of breath. Gastrointestinal mucormycosis includes abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting and gastrointestinal bleeding. The US Center for Disease Control or CDC says that black fungus is rare, but it's serious. Doctors say use of steroids in the treatment of COVID-19 coupled with the fact that many coronavirus patients have diabetes could be one of the reasons for the rise in the number of black fungus cases once again. With Sanjay Rathod in Surat and Milan Sharma, Sneha Murdani in Delhi for India Today. Far away from the national capital, paramilitary personnel are crossing barriers to serve their country, queuing up at the Dhanbad hospital to donate plasma. Amid this raging pandemic, these stories of sacrifice and compassion are a ray of hope. Mosmi Singh brings you this report of how angels in uniform are saving lives.
These are the protectors of the country, guarding the motherland from all harm. Brave hearts sworn to sacrificing their lives in the line of duty. But today they are helping in the fight against a different enemy, the raging pandemic.
प्लाज्मा डोनेट करने से किसी दो मनुष्य की जान बचती है, मुझे बड़े गर्व हुआ। हम लोगों ने ये मुहिम चलाई और हम बढ़ चढ़ करके भाग ले रहे हैं।
मैं सभी बल सदस्यों से अनुरोध करता हूं तथा अन्य इकाइयों के बल सदस्यों से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो बढ़ चढ़ करके इस प्लाज्मा को, अपने प्लाज्मा को डोनेट करें ताकि जरूरतमंद व्यक्तियों की जान को बचाई जा सके। ये कार्य करना बहुत ही पुण्य का काम है। इसमें सभी बल सदस्य बढ़ चढ़ करके भाग ले।
Day after day, soldier after soldier queuing up at the Dhanbad hospital. No, not for themselves, but for others. The CISF Jawans posted at BCCL are being lauded for being COVID warriors, helping their fellow citizens battle the virus, a shining example in these uncertain times. It all started with desperate calls for help from the local hospital, where demand for plasma for COVID patients was growing exponentially.
जवान का ट्रैक्टर वैल्यू सफिशिएंट है, मोर देन 10 हमारे विडास मशीन में आया है, मतलब वो अपना प्लाज्मा डोनेट कर सकते हैं और उनके द्वारा लगातार ये कार्य किया जा रहा है। उनके जवान रोज आ रहे हैं, मेरे यहाँ बारी-बारी से आकर के प्लाज्मा डोनेट कर रहे हैं और इस प्लाज्मा को हम लोग सिर्फ यहाँ के कैथ लैब पे नहीं, सेंट्रल हॉस्पिटल में भी, जो यहाँ का नजदीकी कोविड सेंटर है, इवन की रांची तक में हम लोग सप्लाई किए हैं।
There were very few personnel who had actually recovered from COVID, but when the entire unit was tested for antibodies, almost 80% of the Jawans had a very good score. Having received both doses of the COVID vaccine proved to be a double blessing.
Out of 78 samples so collected, 62 of them had antibodies count way above 10, which is the base level for collection of plasma. I'm happy to announce that in the last 4 days, we have donated nearly 16 units, and these are reaching people and needy patients not only in Dhanbad, but also in Ranchi, Bokaro and other districts.
What started as a small drive has now turned into a full-fledged mission. Every day, 4 Jawans donate plasma that's being used not only in Dhanbad, but also being ferried to other places in Jharkhand.
These are inspirational stories of heroism of a different kind. Men in uniform expanding their scope of work to pitch in times of national crisis. Their dedication and commitment to the country unflinching. With video journalist Alok, this is Mosmi Singh for India Today.
That's a wrap on this edition of COVID 360. We will continue to get you stories of the pandemic from across the country. Thanks for watching.